it's time for the news. Kicking things off on the news today, we're going to get kind of the sad story out of the way, or at least one that'll kind of punch you right in the feels. This one comes from Game Rant. Xbox gamer reaches out to old Halo 2 friend only to find out that he has passed away. Of course, this comes on the heels of the 20th anniversary of the original Halo, Halo Combat Involved, Combat Evolved, or Combat Involved, I guess, being released. And then also the premature drop of Halo Infinite's multiplayer. And Frank says in the Twitch chat, he has said that the ranked version is actually pretty fun. So I might have to get into some of that. But the story goes on, says, the past 20 years of Halo have seen a lot of highs and lows, but Halo 2 is arguably the highest of those high points, kicking off online console multiplayer for Xbox, making huge innovations on the first-person shooter genre, and bringing people together like never before. One of those people was Lee Fabella, who started playing the game at 11 years old and predictably was not tolerated by many others. Why was that predictable?
Because he was 11?
I guess. But one other player stood up for him and took him under his wing. According to Fabella, when they played together, they never lost a game. I don't know about that, but I mean, everybody loses eventually, right?
Well, I'm sure it's an exaggeration. Bit of hyperbole there when talking about your friend.
Eventually, the two lost touch when Fabella moved on from Halo 2, but after a while, Fabella wanted to reconnect. While other Halo fans made keychains, Fabella tried to track down his old friend, which he finally did when Xbox added a new feature that let him look up old gamer tags. Fabella promptly looked up his old friend and sent him a message, but what came back was bad news. His old friend, who he learned for the first time was named Sean, had passed away from leukemia. The one who sent the message was Sean's nephew, who had inherited his uncle's Xbox. It was passed on to him because the two of them used to play together on weekends, just like Sean and Fabella used to play together. So there's one for you. There's a little punch in the gut. But that's how we met Frank. Frank in the Twitch chat, Sharples Live. Met him, I think it was the first night I was playing Halo online. And, it just kind of progressed from there. And it eventually got to the point where Frank was taking trips out to Portland, Oregon to go hang out with all of us. Sticking with the Xbox news, here are some of the titles that are leaving Xbox Game Pass coming up on November 30th. Call of the Sea, FIFA 19, Football Manager 2021, Haven, Hello Neighbor, Mork Red. What is Va 11 Hall A? Or is that supposed to be Valhalla?
I think it's Leet speak. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. Well, it's the name of the game. It's a cyberpunk bartender action. But
gotcha. And then coming up on December 8th, leaving is Destiny 2 Beyond Light. So if you enjoy playing any of those titles, make sure you guys are jumping on that before it disappears. There's also a show on Netflix called Arcane. And as you were explaining it to me, Tyler, it's essentially League of Legends, the kind of game that is. There's really no storyline, right?
Yeah, so MOBAs, or multiplayer online battle arenas, no story in those games whatsoever. So this is set before these characters actually join the League of Legends and become famous and all that sort of thing.
So it's the prequel.
And it tells their story. It's an interesting way of interjecting a story into a game that otherwise doesn't have any room for it.
Well, if you want to check it out, it is available on Netflix now.
I watched one episode. It's pretty good, and I've seen a bunch of reviews on it. Everybody is enamored with it, so check it out if you're interested in that sort of thing.
So they're actually doing a pretty solid job of basically kind of creating a story when there wasn't a story.
Yeah, and I mean, for a video game, it's pretty good.
Interesting.
Even if you don't like video games, apparently it's still a good story.
See, and that's when you know they've done a solid job. Like, that's why I always considered Rogue One to be arguably one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars movie. You can watch that with no other frame of reference. Like, you can legitimately watch that movie and be entertained without a reference to Star Wars or not knowing what the hell anything is. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of parts in there that are designed for Star Wars fans, but you don't have to be a Star Wars fan to get it.
There's another series that's Castlevania. Oh, man. If you haven't watched Castlevania, if you love Castlevania, you got to watch that show on Netflix.
I think I
Even
started
if you don't
it.
love it. Oh, man, it's so good.
Moving on to the gamer news here. The new Mass Effect game making the Destroy ending canon has 2 major downfalls, is what this one is. So Mass Effect, it's another game where I think I started it, and I just never really, like, life got in the way, I think. But it always seemed like it was a pretty entertaining game. Is it one of those games that you were always into there, Tyler?
Oh, yes, from the very beginning. It's a great series. The first ending that they made was just absolutely terrible. They tried to fix it. They did a decent job. Still kind of disappointing. But this, I think, I think they're trying to kind of retroactively fix things. Because some of the things that they did in that Destroy ending, people really didn't like. But now it looks like they're bringing back the Geth, which, if anybody played the game, they were a huge part of the story.
Okay. I just remember people posting with, like, I think it was like Mass Effect 3 or something, like, how do you have sex with this chick?
That was, of course, a big part.
Because, of course, that's immediately where the gamers are going to go with that. And we have a holiday gift guide for gamers here. If you're looking to purchase anything for Tyler, unless you already did buy it, the Inscription.
I haven't
purchased the game.
No, I played the demo. So you can play the demo on Steam, and then on Epic Game Store, it's 10% off till the end of the month.
So here we have Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2. It's got 20% off at this point. We also have the Backbone 1 mobile gaming controller. So essentially what these are, if you aren't familiar with them, it's turning your phone into a controller. So it looks like a PSP. It's kind of what it is, right?
That's what it looks like.
We also have a PlayStation controller here. You know, I'm going to put this link right here for you bad boys in the old Twitch chat. We have the Logitech G Pro gaming headset. God, we ran into that. Was that Monday, Tyler, when we had that happen? When we thought his headset was glitching out, it just turned out to be my crappy equipment?
Yeah.
We had everything set up. It was ready to roll, man. And then all of a sudden, any sound that was coming through my computer was static. And originally, we thought it was Tyler's headset. And no, it was not. It was just my computer was glitching out for some reason. There's another headset in here, too, the Astro Gaming A40. So if you're looking for headsets, those are there. You have the Oculus Quest 2. That's the Facebook. Is that their thing? The Oculus?
Yeah, but I heard that they were removing the requirement for you to have a Facebook account in order to use it. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not.
But that's the virtual reality sets that you're seeing a lot of. And I guarantee that's going to be one of the hot sellers again this year. And if you're looking to purchase something tech, especially for somebody for Christmas, I'm telling you, man, get it early because it's not going to be guaranteed that stuff's going to be around. Yeah, Mario Party Superstars. You could just buy somebody some Call of Duty points. And then at the very bottom of the list, it's Inscription. And here's what it says about the game Inscription that Tyler was just describing. It says here, I don't think Inscription, the developer digital game that launched a couple of weeks ago, is for everyone. But just in case you are one of the people who will like it, I'd be remiss not to recommend it to you. What initially starts out as a digital Magic the Gathering style card game becomes something much spookier, more unexpected, more twisted, and tense. It's haunting and threatening in fascinating ways and manages to evoke a whole lot of unsettling vibes, even though it isn't a graphical masterpiece. Yeah, I mean, like the graphics of this game, that's not what you're getting it for. This person goes on to say, I don't want to spoil anything that happens because it's that good. But I will say that if you aren't put off by pixelated art style or the premise of a virtual card game, there's a good chance you'll love it. And Tyler is hooked.
Dude, yeah. So I would recommend everybody who's listening, tell your friends, tell everyone, play the demo at the very least. Like, I
And
think
that's free.
the demo is free on Steam. The graphics, I think, are kind of that way on purpose. But I mean, this thing is a mix between like an escape room, a card game, a mystery, a horror, and apparently like, you play through the demo and it gets a little bit crazy at the end, but it gets apparently even more crazy than that.
Yeah, Tyler sent me, or he had me play it a little bit when I was over at the place on Monday, and it's definitely an intriguing game to check out. All right, moving on to entertainment news. All right, go ahead.
I think this has potential to be Game of the Year. It came out a little late this year, so it might not get the player base. But when Disco Elysium won Game of the Year, I called that one. So,
Ooh, that's what we should do. We should see if Tyler can guess the big awards at the end of the year. So you're locking in on Inscription, huh?
I think it should win Game of the Year. I just think the player base is too small. But again, it doesn't have enough marketing. But Elysium or Disco Elysium, that game came out of nowhere and it won Game of the Year, and I called that one really early on.
That's something that we could do, is that when they do release all the awards at the end of the year, you could do a whole thing on this is what won, this is what should have won.
Oh, okay.
Don't sound too excited about it now.